So for this assessment, and just remind me as well, Liz, do you rate in Kira or do you rate in Salesforce?
We rate in Kira.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good.
By the way, the rating is in the scale of this 1 to 5, right?
But, and this is something that's on the cards for, I think, in the next 6 months, as an update as well for yourself, Liz, we're actually updating, making more customized rubrics. So it won't probably just be a 5-point scale, it'll be something of your choice after. But that's January. That's not like right now if you're setting it up for September.
Yeah, so Dr. Stress, the ratings right now are what you see at the top: poor, fair, good, great, and exceptional. But what Neve says, it looks like we'll have options to customize. So if you want to do a 1 to 5 scale, we could do that in the future, but that'll be 2021, it looks like.
But what about, I can see here notes, as our faculty can write something, comments on that notes, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's what I'm doing now.
Okay, that's good.
And with the rubric as well, this can be, so this is the generic poor grade, good grade, exceptional. And what we can actually do, if you have your own rubric, a 5-point rubric with actual comments for each rubric, we can add those comments in under poor, fair, good, grade, exceptional too. This is just the very generic what's here. If you want comments, they'll be right underneath. And it's something you can have, like you can have 160 characters to see what poor is, or see what fair is, see what good, grade, exceptional is. But for example, so when you come into an applicant here and you're going to begin reviewing them, you'll see some information, and I'll go through what's up here after, but I'll just show you how you review them in that notes section, just because you mentioned that there now. So you'll see what competency they're being assessed on. The applicant never sees this, only you see this. You'll see what this means, and this was a description made by Liz and I think Christian when they first onboarded with Kira on what greater persistence actually means to your school. And then you'll see the question here. So this is all the applicant has ever seen. They'll have seen what the question was and they'll be asked it. To come and play the video, you just come and click on this play version here. This usually encourages, you can control the volume here. You can, if someone's speaking too fast, you can come and slow them down and play it. Or if someone's speaking too slow, you want to speed them up. Stop sharing questions online up. And then you can make a big screen as well. So that's how you would play the videos. And then when you have your 4 ratings up here, if you want your faculty to write a reason for all their ratings, you can ask them to add notes. So on the notes section, it's very similar to something like Google Drive. They can say poor because, add their note. And once they click add note, it has to save. They have to click that add note option for it to save. And then if they want to come in and write something by accident, they can delete it very easily. Reviewers cannot see each other's notes because we don't want to create a situation where there's bias and they can review what other people have said about this applicant. You want them to go in and review them as they see them, but you will be able to come in and review all the notes. And I'll show you where you can review them in the results section as well after. Beside each question, you're going to see this other option with 3 dots called allow retake. So what this means is if an applicant, if you have 10 questions in assessment or 5 questions in an assessment and an applicant emails you and says, I'm so sorry, question number 3, someone knocked on my door and they came busting into my room, is there any, and I got really distracted, is there any way I can do that question again? And you're feeling generous and you want to give them the opportunity, you come back in here and watch the video and see if they're telling the truth. You can come in here and allow retake for just that question. If an applicant has emailed and said they want to retake the whole assessment and have given you some kind of story as well, and you're feeling again like you want to allow them to do it, you can allow them to retake a full assessment as well. But you never have to, if they've only asked that you retake 1 question and you're going to let them, you don't need to ask, they don't need to retake the full assessment, they just can retake that question as well. Any questions on that little part there? Okay, perfect. So then to select a rating, all you're going to need to do is, okay, so we see this applicant, we've listened to the response and we think it's good. Once you select a rating, that competency will fold up neatly, the video will fold up underneath it. But for example, if you think you selected good by accident, you said, actually no, I meant to select fair, you just click on the competency name again, and click fair, and I will just fold up under there again, and you'll see where they sit as well. If you're adding a description into the rubric and you're training someone to review, we always recommend that they read the good rubric first, then they go watch the video, and then they read the good again and decide from there whether it's better than that or if it's worse, and kind of go with the rubric along that side. But you might have a way internally that you already kind of train people as well, but that's just like a tip as well. So on the next one here, we can just, again, you'd play the video. We can say, okay, this one was good. We'll always see the competency name, the competency description, and the question this applicant has been asked. So I'm just going to give all these videos a rating just so you see what it's like. So there was just 3 questions on this. And once you've completed reviewing this applicant and you have another applicant assigned to you, you don't have to go back out into that list. You just come in here and click review the responses, and you'll move on to the next applicant. Same with your reviewers. They'll move on to the next applicant then as well. So I'm just going to go and show you. I'm going to go back in on one there. So I'm going to just show you the settings here. So once you've reviewed them, it's there reviewed. You can come in and change the reviews. If you're giving your reviewers a certain date, you can come in and tell them have the reviews done by then. And I'll show you in the analytics how you can check how many your reviewers have done, how many they've left to do, and everything like that. But before I do this, I'm going to just show you how once you've reviewed your applicant, how you see the results. So we'll come into results here, and we'll see that Niamh got a 2.0 out of 5, so her score out of 5 was fair. If there was another reviewer assigned to review Niamh here, the score would be an average of the 2 reviewers. You'll see each section what they got in each section here, but also if we look at in the competency side, we'll see how many people reviewed them, and we can see like what each person individually gave them here. On this side here in the summary is where you'll see the notes. If there was notes on each applicant here, if you want to ask, so you can actually ask your reviewers to add notes to every section, but you'll see here that this is where their notes will appear. So it'll say 1 note, 2 notes, 3 notes, depending on what the competency is or who the reviewers are as well. So that's where you can come in and review all of them notes as well. The final section in your results, the results section that you will see, is something called integrity. So this is called our integrity summary, and what we do is we track suspicious behavior by applicants on the platform. And the 2 behaviors we track is their typing speed and their browser refreshes. If an applicant types, I think more than like 250 words per minute, we flag them as this little tag that's called needs attention, because it's unlikely that someone can type that much over a minute. So this means they've probably prepared an answer previously, or maybe their friend sat here before and somehow got some questions and they've prepared it and copy and pasted it in. It's not common that this happens, but we track any kind of this behavior, because if you have a written question in your assessment and you want to see how they write in the moment rather than obviously the edited essays you get through the application process, this is a good way to see it here, because we track their grammar, we can see what their spelling and grammar is, and we can also see what their typing speed is, because this will tell us if they've copy and pasted from somewhere else. The other thing we track is their browser refreshes. So when an applicant completes Kira, and if they refresh their browsers while completing Kira more than 8 times, and I think that's going to be revised now, we flag them as needs attention, because every time they refresh their browser, they get the same question. So this means if you give them 40 seconds to prep and someone refreshes their browser 5 times, they've given themselves an extra 3 to 4 minutes to prep over the next applicant. So just in fairness, we track these kind of things. We use this more as a tool for you to look elsewhere in their application for suspicious behavior. We don't recommend you use this as a yes or no to admit or not. It's just something there, so to give you an idea of maybe, okay, I need to go back and maybe look at different parts of their application if you're putting like their application through Turnitin or anything like that as well. Any questions on that side?
But yeah, I have a question. By the way, when we give them a question, I know that they will have a preparation time, 40 seconds, something just like you said. And after that, when the really question starts, then can they do the same thing, refresh the browser and get the question again, or we'll have a 2 minutes or 1 minute, whatever time we gave them, and then they have to finish at that time?
So if they can refresh the browser and they'll get more time again, they'll have to rewatch the video and then start the response. And this is why we track this. Applicants don't know they're being tracked at this, but usually, like, it doesn't happen too often. Like, if you have maybe like 200 applicants coming in, you might see 2 or 3 needs attention because of this. And it's people, it's not like, we've looked online a good bit before. It's not really shared in online forums that this happens or anything like that. It's something applicants are very unaware of. It's more so just that if, you know, they're kind of tech savvy, they're trying to just guess and see if they refresh what happens, and they see, okay, I get more time, we track this. Sometimes an applicant has to refresh their browser if they've run into technical issues, but we track those issues as well. They're all logged as technical issues. So you'll see here, if they had like 10 browser refreshes, but they had 10 technical issues, they won't really be flagged because they were actually related to reasons like they kept losing their connection, they're in a really rural area or something like that. It doesn't happen often, but again, it's just something they definitely can refresh it once the question has started recording, but they'll have to sit through the prep time again.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on that? Okay. So before I jump in, and I'm just going to show you one more thing here before I show you the analytics, and then I'll show you what the applicant actually experiences. So if you get a really good candidate and you want to share it with someone else in the faculty, but they're not signing up to review, you just want to share one candidate with everyone, you can click this share button, create a share link, and then email that to someone or send it via chat to someone. If that's just an option you have, that if you don't want to set someone up on Kira just to show them one video, they will not be able to go in and rate the applicant. All they'll be able to do is go in and play the videos or look at their written response. It's literally just for options of people you don't want to sign up, and you're not asking their opinion to rate. You're just saying, oh, look at this really good applicant or something like that.
Okay, that means, can I send this to the, you know, because some of our faculty doesn't want to have an account in Kira, you know, if I send this link, can I send this link of one applicant to a multiple faculty or not?
Yeah, absolutely. Just be aware that they can't, all they can do is view the videos. They can't give you the review. Okay. They can't go in and click any reviews. So okay. They can't select anything, or they can't add notes. All they can literally do is go in and play the videos.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions on that?